Thank you, Jack. So, I'm Hassan, and I'm a Cardiology Registrar. I am a rank and file BMA member, just like the rest of you. I'm near the end of my specialisation, and within the next 2 years, I'm going to be a consultant. There are a few hurdles along the way. I came to the North East in 2007, believe it or not, looking even more fresh-faced than I do now. And I qualified to become a doctor in 2012. In the last 11 years, I've worked in 10 different hospitals across 15 different specialties. I've passed grueling exams to become a member of the Royal College of Physicians. I've done a postgraduate qualification in medical education alongside full-time work, and I'm doing a second one. If your heartbeat is too slow, I am the one who will operate on you and put in a pacemaker. If you're having a heart attack, I'll be standing shoulder to shoulder with the consultant to restore the blood flow to the affected portion of your heart. And if your heart stops altogether, I'll be the one leading the team to restart it. And for my time, for my effort, for the breadth of my experience, what do they call me? A junior doctor. What do you think, Newcastle? Do I sound junior to you? I reject that term, and you should too. From the day that you set foot on the wards with a minimum of 5 years of university education, you were doctors. Do not allow yourself to be demeaned by a term such as junior. You might be training to become a GP, a hospital consultant, or a specialty doctor, but that doesn't mean you aren't a doctor. You are a doctor already. You are a highly trained, highly qualified, highly skilled professional. In 2000, let's hear it for you doctors, highly trained, highly skilled, highly qualified professionals. I came to study Newcastle in 2006 to study medicine. But the state of the profession that I applied to join and the one that I'm working in now are vastly different. Since 2008, tuition fees have tripled, and some doctors are graduating with more than £100,000 debt. Since 2008, free accommodation of foundation doctors worth thousands of pounds has been removed. Since 2008, the volume of work we do as doctors has increased. The intensity of work as we do as doctors has increased, and the complexity of medicine, the complexity of the work we do has also increased. Yet despite all of this, we are being paid 26.1% less than doctors were working in 2008. Now tell me, Newcastle, is that fair?
No!
Is that okay?
No!
Is it reasonable?
No!
The current state of affairs is very much not what we signed up for. In the face of these ever-working conditions, anyone would ask to be paid more. But we have been supremely reasonable, and we ask only that our pay be restored to what it was in 2008. We've already made concessions, no matter what Steve Barclay says, no matter how many times he drones on and says we're unreasonable, we know we are not. It's also worth noting that in the same time period, MP's pay has gone up by more than 20,000. Let us not forget the £15 billion the government wasted on unusable PPE, the £4.3 billion wasted on furlough fraud, and the £42 billion of outstanding tax debt that the HMRC has failed to collect. They can afford to pay us, they just don't want to. The government is not fighting against us out of economic necessity, but political choice. Now, some within our own profession would have us avoid talking about pay as it's unseemly because we're paid more than the average person. But nothing about our jobs is average. The grade requirements to get onto the degree, above average. The intensity of the degree, above average. The responsibilities of the job, you guessed it, above average. The working hours, well above average. Should it not stand to reason then that our pay reflects that? A newly qualified doctor starts on £14 an hour for the day job. We are all aware of the average jobs that pay more than this. And I don't begrudge those people that pay, none of us do, they deserve it. But don't doctors also deserve to be paid commensurate to our skills and responsibilities? Some people try to pacify us by telling us to hold on, we'll get the big bucks when we're consultants. But that's a fallacy. The only group that's seen a bigger drop in their pay than us is consultants. They're being paid a staggering 35% less than they were in 2008. The sunlit uplands of consultant life that we've been told to hold on to are really not that shiny anymore. And that's why they're going to be balloted next month for strike action, and we will stand with them in solidarity. We will stand with our consultant colleagues as we have stood with our nursing colleagues, as we've stood with our allied healthcare professionals and with striking workers throughout society. For everybody listening, we as doctors know that striking is our last resort. But make no mistake, we have tried everything else. I was here in 2006. I signed those petitions, I wrote those letters, I was on those protests. It didn't work. We do not take striking lightly. We've been blamed, and our strike has been blamed, for long A&E waits, delayed surgeries and cancelled appointments. But these have been the norm for years now, and they've just been getting worse. Just 4 years ago, in 2019, I took a day off work and sat with my dad in the surgical day unit while he was waiting for surgery for bladder cancer. I sat with him for 8 whole hours, and right at the last minute at the end of the day, they cancelled his operation because there weren't enough beds. That was in 2019. Things have just got worse, and they will continue to get worse unless we fight to make the situation better. As the second round of our industrial action draws to a close, I am proud of our unity and our strength, but this is not the end. This is a marathon, not a sprint, and my friends in the crowd will be familiar with the joke that I often tell, that I don't believe in running unless I'm being chased. But we are being chased. Through the poor working conditions and the poor pay, we are being chased away from the country, we are being chased away from the NHS, into the welcoming arms of Australia, New Zealand and other countries that will treat us better and pay us better. Underfunded and under growing pressure, the NHS has bent, it has buckled and it has broken. The system is failing patients, and the job satisfaction that kept us content is rare and becoming rarer still. The goodwill has evaporated. We have the fewest number of doctors per 1,000 patients in all of Europe, apart from Poland, and we already have a shortage of 50,000 doctors, and we can ill afford to lose any more. If we fail to reverse the exodus, we will find ourselves in an even bigger crisis, when there is no health service left to treat the public, to treat us, and to treat our loved ones. I'm almost finished, that's why. This government underestimates us. As individuals, it's true, we can't achieve much. But if we bring to bear our considerable skills together as a collective, we are powerful and they are scared. We can win this dispute. we can win this dispute. But the success of this movement hinges on one thing: solidarity. As we have come together today, we need to come together tomorrow, and we need to come together the day after. We need to build our communities and grow our movement even bigger. So much of the good work and the good stuff about work that we take for granted came from fighting by trade unions, including weekends off work, working hours limits, the minimum wage, parental leave and paid annual leave. We will only achieve full pay restoration if we fight for it. So, let us stick together, let us strike together, and let us win together. And so I ask you, doctors of Newcastle, what do we want? When do we want it? Now! Sing it with me. Rich better have my money. Thank you.